Let's do it. So, hello to everybody. My name is Larry. I am going to be hosting today's the Void Century secret episodes with the gentleman over here, MD King, and we have at the bottom King Recon. And I just want to thank both of you gentlemen for joining me today on today's special episode. I am literally so excited to just have you guys in the same vicinity where I could just talk to you and just ask you any type of questions I want, because you guys have been in the community for a couple years and you've been doing really well. So MD, please speak on who you are, what you do, and how great you are.
I just gassed myself up a little bit. Okay.
Gas yourself up, King.
Yes.
Gas it up.
Yes. I run the channel called MD King. You guys could call me Zach. But yeah, I've been doing it in the game now for 2.5 years. Started like April of 2020. Just in the middle of COVID. Literally, like everything. I couldn't do anything. You know, COVID was shutting everything down. I was literally about to look for a bunch of internships, and then, you know, it's just like there's nothing there. So I was like, you know what, let's hop into this One Piece space, and it just kind of took off from there. So I got I talk One Piece 2 to 3 times a week for the chapters, theories, discussions, power scaling. I kind of do it all. I just channel where I get to talk about everything and people vibe with it.
Yeah. All right. And then what about you, King Recon? Tell me a little bit about yourself and tell the people who you are and how great you are.
All right, let me take on my. Can I gas myself up more
Yo,
than Zach?
Listen, bro,
go
go
for it.
off, bro.
I went the humble route, so you could.
It's not like a prosper. I feel you. Yo. Shout out to my dogs, man. Yo, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me, man. This is awesome, and it's just great always to be able to talk about One Piece. But my name is King Recon, now King _Recon. I've been doing this for 10 years, 7 on this current one, 3 on the old channel. And it's a blessing, bro. I'll tell you, this is, y'all know, you guys went to NY, you know how amazing this community is. And in the reveries and in the discussions we have, I feel there's no other community that captures just not only brilliant and talented and skilled content creators, but also the fact that we all vibe with each other. We all love each other. We all want to see each other succeed. And so being a part of that for the last 10 years has been a real joy. And I want to continue to do it for as long as I can. We're in the final saga now. So if you want to follow me on this wonderful journey, I'm on King _Recon over on YouTube. It's always amazing time. I was about to say a fun time. No, it's an amazing time. For that goat raw fire peak every single week, baby.
Yes,
love
sir.
it.
Yeah, everything you said is absolutely true from the both of you. It's been an amazing ride. I think ever since we started to dip into the community, because we've always had this like One Piece talk show type of first take debate. And we've wanted to always experience it and like jump into the community, but we just never had. We never had the inspiration. So that kind of leads into my next question, because you guys are so solidified now and you stand, at a place above others, which makes you conquerors to a degree. So
I just got King our names.
Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly. So I just wanted to ask, Zach, where did you get the inspiration to not only start your channel, but also put out consistent content for as long as you have?
Right. So I always say the number one inspiration for me was Tekking, because he was pretty much the only guy I watched and even really knew of in the community for a long time. So Tekking, I remember when I first caught up to One Piece in 2015 or something like that, I felt like he just had started talking about One Piece as well. So like it was the perfect timing of algorithm, and like all his discussions were coming out. I just remember watching all of them. So I kept following him. And then when COVID happened, the whole reason I got back into One Piece and, started his channel was because, we were not doing anything. So I literally started rewatching the series with my girlfriend. And the ride of One Piece, when you start rewatching, you just start catching so many little things. Right. And now you're back on the wiki and you're like, whoa, okay, I forgot about this, the stories. You just get so excited because the world is so big and there's so many different layers to it, right? So I remember, just getting really excited back into the series while that was happening. And then I started rewatching Tekken content. There was some, I caught up on, and the man uploads daily, like 30-minute videos. So I was just like every single day I was watching it. And then at that point, I was like, I literally had nothing to do. I went to school as a TV production major. So like video creation is already in my DNA, and it's like what I'm interested in.
Yo, I could
So
tell by
it's-
your camera, bro. It's just
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
great.
got the proper
Mhm.
setup here.
Mhm.
But yeah, at that point, like I mentioned a little earlier, like it was COVID, so like there was no work for me, there was nothing to do. I was at home, so I was like, I'm really into One Piece right now. Why not fire up the camera and just do my own thing? And so I think initially Tekken was a big inspiration for me. Eventually, as I watched more content, Brago was the second creator that I really watched a lot of. And I saw that like more condensed, that was a style that I probably
Mhm.
started enjoying more, even because it's just like you start to run out of time to start watching such long videos.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, my original inspiration, I always give the credit to Tekken because I've much watched like probably days worth of his content.
Mhm.
What about you, Recon? What inspired you to do what you do and to keep it going?
Yo, first and foremost, shout out to Tekken, man. That man is a goat, dude.
That's
Shout out to
dope.
Tekken.
I've been watching him for so long. Like that 2015 period you're talking about. Like I remember when Bleach was
Mhm.
ending.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I watched him a lot for Bleach, and I didn't know he was as big of a One Piece fan as I was until he started doing videos, and we were both creating content at the time. And I remember reaching out to him one time. I was like, "Yo, I didn't know you like One Piece, dog. Like we never talked about this." So yeah, no, shout out to Techie, man. He's awesome. But no, the person, actually the two people who really inspired me to start off, when I was in high school, all of us, we had like those discussions in the lunchroom about the big three, and I was the only one that was into One Piece. So like we all talked about Naruto, we all talked about Bleach, but I was the only one that liked One Piece. And so when I finally got my my smartphone, I was like, no, it's time. It's time to do at least something in the community, because for a couple years I'd been watching Sawyer 7 Mage for Naruto and One Piece, and King of Lightning for Bleach and One Piece. So I was like, all right, I want to do what they're doing, because I feel like not only can I add something, but I want to be a part of this experience, because it just feels like it's so cool to be a part of this every single week, to be a part of the hype, the insanity, and so I just, the same reasons why I'm into it today, but at the time it really was, I just needed an avenue to talk to about anyone. I didn't care who it was about One Piece. And that led to me discovering so many other wonderful series that I now cover on the channel. But the heart and soul will always be One Piece. And to this day, like I remember earlier this year when we had the chapter 1043, 1044, 1045 stuff, I was
Mhm.
reminded of those lunchroom discussions, because that to me was like the peak. I've been doing this for so long, y'all, like for so long. But the end of Onigashima, with all of the controversy, the toxicity, the hype, that is what makes this weekly experience so special. And I think that's why I'm still here doing it, and why I do it consistently. There's always the competitive nature that I have, just to wanna like my boy Zach was saying in regards to, wanting to put out great content, seeing it done by different creators, just it inspires you. And in our community with so many talented creators, it's like, how could I not want to stay and try to do something in my own space? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful community with so many different incredible creators. But at its core, when it's time to talk about One Piece, man, there is nothing like when we're here for the Conqueror's coding moment, the Gear 5 moment, all
Absolutely.
that stuff. That is what keeps me here, and that's why I still continue to do it. It's so much fun.
Yeah. No, I 1000% agree with you, man. It makes me think too, like, I wonder how many more moments we're gonna have that are gonna be like that within the future of One Piece, especially with the timetable that Oda put out in comparison to what his actual scheduled chapter releases go by. It's like, I wasn't gonna ask this question, but what are your thoughts? Do you guys think that this is going to end much sooner, or do you think we're in for another 5 years or so? We'll start with Zach.
I think it's gonna be longer. Like I just feel like with the way the story has always been and how Oda just likes, usually like that's how the story is dragged out, right? Like he
Mhm.
starts an arc, he has a structure, and he's like,
Mhm.
this will be cool, and this will be cool, and this will be cool, and
Exactly.
all of a sudden it just
Mhm.
gets
Mhm.
super bloated, right? So
Yeah.
even though I will say, like within the past couple of years, he's been pretty consistent with like saying 5 years, 3 years, something like that,
Yeah.
right? This is the first time ever where he's like starting to look a little consistent, but if you just look at the timeline, it doesn't really add up with how many
Mhm.
things that we still have to get through, right? So
Mhm.
I think, and I honestly, sincerely hope that it's gonna go probably at least another 5.
Mhm.
I will say, like, I think the end of Wano got me maybe the slightest bit worried because that was one of the first times I was like, oh, Oda rushed this for sure.
Mhm.
Oda definitely
Mhm.
just wanted to get to the end of this for a multitude of reasons. It doesn't necessarily have to be like the timetable of 3 years.
Yeah.
He definitely wanted it to end at 100 chapters. He definitely wanted to
Mhm.
get Shanks in before Film Red
Yeah.
and a bunch of stuff like that. But I will say at the end of Wano, I was like, oh, okay. I really hope like this doesn't happen to the rest of the story, but
Mhm.
he's Oda. I trust him. He's
Mhm.
been planning this story out for over 25 years. So like I think whatever the ending that's gonna be perfect is, he's gonna nail it.
Yeah, and it's also been stated that he actually extended Wano a bit because he was having so much fun drawing it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy
Yep.
because even though he extended it in the middle, he actually sped it up at the end for
Yeah.
the Film Red. So
That's
it
what
makes
happened.
sense that I feel like Oda could go either way, right? But what about you,
Yeah.
Recon? What are your thoughts? Do you think it's ending soon? Do you think it's being extended?
I honestly, whenever it was announced for 3 years, I was like, okay. So I remember when Oda was making the Paramount War Saga. I'm sure in his mind he must have been like, okay, Sabaody, Impel Down, or Sabaody, Amazon Lily, Impel Down, Marineford, Post Marineford. That was 2008, 2010. So he was like, okay, that's 3 years. So in his mind, he was like, this final saga is going to be just like that, multiple different arcs. I can wrap it up just like I did there. It'll be 3 years. That's what I think Oda's doing here, because there's no way we're getting like 2 arcs and that's it, right? So it's got to be some sort of Paramount War Saga, 5 arcs, 4 to 5 arcs that
Really
we're about
good
to get here
comparison.
in the end. So, but I think rather than how long those arcs were, imagine that but doubled. So it's gonna be like
Yeah.
6 years, I think, honestly, personally. So I
6?
do think so. I think it's gonna be between like 5 to 6. Just like Zach said, Oda, I'm sure right now he's on it. He's on his game. He's like, yeah, I'm getting all this stuff. I'm getting all this stuff. Wait until halfway through this arc. He's gonna be like, oh no, wait, I have a better idea than this, dude. Like, like all the, you know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
but I feel like now, especially with the way things happen in Wano, because I think Oda himself also felt that too at the end, because that arc has so much. That arc is Oda to his fault and to his greatest, right? And
Yeah.
and I feel like he's gonna look back on that and be like, okay, I gotta make sure that I'm good on this window for me and in terms of the way that I'm writing the story. So I do believe he won't extend it way too long.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna give it at its minimum 5, and I think it'll be between like 5 to 6 personally. I think that's, but if it goes down to 4,
Mhm.
then the pacing from here on out is gonna be nuts.
It's gonna
if
be
he brings
super
it down
nuts.
to like 4. Yeah.
Super nuts. You know what's crazy? I was having dinner with Parvision, Hidden, and Mosh, and I asked him, I was like, listen, I understand that bringing this topic up is kind of like redundant because we don't know the timetable of when it will end or when
Mhm.
it will just go longer. But I was like, what do you think Oda's mindset was when he saw all of Times Square filled up with a whole bunch of fans in the West?
Crazy.
And everything in Times Square was One Piece related.
Yeah, man.
From just your perspective, Recon, if you're Oda and you're sitting there and you're just like, wow, this is far reaching past Japan to the point where the obsession is as big as over there as it is here.
Mhm.
What do you think in his mind he was thinking in terms of, should I extend this or should I like just keep it at where I was gonna go with it?
I think knowing Oda, he wants the best product possible. So he was probably like going back to old ideas. And he was like, okay, is this the best it can be? Is this the best it can be? Because I don't really see Oda as someone who's going to extend it beyond what it needs to be just to make sure that like the popularity continues. Because I don't think that really matters to Oda. I think for Oda, he wants to stay number 1 for sure. Like he's addicted to that, to staying like at the top, creating the best possible product. But I do believe that if it's going to extend and that's going to end up killing the product in the process, that he's gonna stop it, because I'm sure that he also must have realized during what was happening during Dressrosa and Wano. And even though Dressrosa and Wano were two arcs that brought in a lot of people, Wano's like my favorite stuff. I absolutely adore Wano, but what it was doing to him, like the fact that he was having so much fun going through it, that's what scares me when it comes to Oda. Like I feel like him having fun scares me more than or not necessarily scares me, but is gonna be about lengthening the series more than the popularity in the West, if you see what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
it would be, because I feel like whenever you saw that video in Times Square, he must have been like, "Oh man, yo, this is dope. Let me make this more better than than I already imagined." Right? Like, you imagine that he's in the middle of writing, like, because I know they're usually head by like 2 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in the middle of writing the next chapter. He looks up, he sees that thing in Times Square. He's like, "Oh man, this chapter's gonna be heat. It's gotta be.
It's gonna be heat.
There's gotta be some gas, bro."
He's like, wait for this one. Hold on.
Yeah, facts. So I think that's the way Oda's mind works. Honestly, he just wants to make the best possible thing.
Yeah. What about
I
you,
think
Zach?
he's all about that. Yeah, I was gonna say I think he's all about the story, man. This is his baby
Yeah.
right here, right? He's been
Yeah.
working on it for 25 years. I don't think much is gonna influence him outside. Probably the editors is the only people that could really give an external opinion that
That's right.
changes his mind. Yeah, like I said, like I think whenever things drag out a little more, it's just like he is getting super excited.
Mhm.
And I think even though he has this timeline, it's gonna go longer because I'm just imagining like Elbaf, like Vikings theme. This is
Yes, bro.
like literally the main one of the biggest reasons he started a pirate
correct.
manga in the
Mhm.
first place was
Yep.
because he was so fascinated by Vikings and
Yeah.
the story of them. So when we get to Elbaf and like Usopp's development there, if Shanks is involved, that arc's gonna go crazy, and he could just just like spend chapters upon chapters introducing new cool giants and Vikings, and like that's just what kind of happens, right? Think about Wano, how many new people just kept showing up.
Yeah.
Kaido's daughter just pops out of nowhere, like middle of
And
Onigashima.
changes the game. Yeah.
Exactly. Like it just be like that with Oda,
Yeah. All right. Well, it's good to know you guys a little bit more. I'm glad that we warmed each other up with these questions, but I did want to dip into like the latest chapter that just passed. So I watched both of your reviews and I thought that they were both exciting and they were both thought-provoking. And I wanted to bring some other questions up that maybe you can extend your thoughts on a bit more, because I felt like I kind of wanted to hear more from both of you. So now that we know that Bonney's father is Kuma, when we go back to chapter 595 and revisit the conversation between Akainu and Bonney, which started with Akainu saying, "A cold shiver ran through me when I heard you'd run away from the government, but it's all over now." And then Bonney replies, "You'll pay for this." Does this scene play a factor at all now that we know that Kuma's Bonney's father? And if so, why? And then we'll start with Zach.
I think, man, the Bonney story is fascinating. See, I don't think I have like a theorist mindset. So usually when we find out stuff, I'm just like, oh, cool, that connects with that connects with that, and I don't really start to like, oh, but this, right? But the Bonney stuff, like the amount of stuff we also got from her Weaver card of like, she has a secret of the world government, how she's connected to that. The main thing I keep thinking about is the timeline. Right, it's like she was a little kid. Kuma is her father. They knew Vegapunk beforehand, but then eventually she somehow ends up getting captured. Kuma then becomes the Tyrant King. Eventually, at some point, he gets connected with the revolutionaries. So all I'm trying to figure out is like what exactly is the timeline of things, and then waiting for more information to try to line that thread up, because it just feels like a lot of different dots that are just spread across right now. But it is definitely one of the stories I'm most fascinated by.
Okay. What about you, Recon? You think that scene with Akainu plays, I don't know, any factor now that we know about her being Kuma's daughter?
I feel like it will, but only if it serves for her current character motivations. So what I'm so excited for when it comes to this arc is we're finally going to be able to see Bonney as more than just a glutton, eating and can turn other people into into an Asia that they're not. And that's a plot point I came with from a fun standpoint. Like, I know that's going to happen. She's going to age, I don't know, Luffy to like 40 or whatever. That's going to be the coolest chapter ever. But when going into her character, That's one of the things I'm most excited for, especially with the Seraphim Kuma rolling in. I wonder just how far deep we're going to go into not only her and Vegapunk. How far does their relationship go in regards to? Is it something as simple as Bonney just wanting to get back at him for turning Kuma into what he is, or do they have something that goes all the way back to the Sorbet Kingdom? Like, could Vegapunk potentially have gone to them whenever it was Bonney and Kuma over there at Sorbet Kingdom, and that's the first time they met Vegapunk? Who knows? But I am very interested on how this is all going to impact Bonnie's motivations in this arc, because to me, I think that's the most important thing. Right now, we could have Bonney coming out this arc the same way that Law came out of Punk Hazard, where it's gonna add this different layer of, man, this character is like not only really great, but there's a lot of room here for potential like really, really nice character. And of course, we got to get more of that in Dressrosa with Law, except this time, Bonnie's probably gonna get all of what Law got in Dressrosa and in Punk Hazard in one arc. So I'm really curious on seeing how Oda is going to handle that from a character motivation standpoint. In regards to that Akainu scene, I've always felt that Akainu scene specifically is him being Akainu and wanting to get younger, like because we know he looks much younger now. I'm going to assume thanks to Bonnie's fruit.
Yeah, and you think that? You think he wants to get younger?
I believe he did. Like, I believe after the time skip, Bonney did or whatever happened after 595, Bonney did make him younger, which is why now he has a chin badger. Because Akainu, for me, post time skip looks younger than pre time skip, and so that's why I think so. And not only younger, he looks more menacing now too, bro. But maybe it's just a chin badger. Sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I'm like searching up pre time skip Akainu now.
Yeah.
Like I gotta search him up now.
Yeah. It's just a fun thing, and that's why, like, for me, because headcanons and fun stuff, but that's why for me I've always felt like Akainu, that scene was specifically for that Akainu thing. But if there is going to be something more for it here, dude, I am all for it. Like, anything that proves to elevate Bonney and this whole Kuma and Vegapunk situation, I'm here for. But I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. Like, what do you believe is going to come out of this? Not only the meeting with Bonney and Vegapunk, but specifically how the Akainu line can tie into that.
It's weird because from what we know about Akainu, he's this overly aggressive type of dictator, and he has a sense of justice that's absolute. It's not dark justice like Lucci's or the CP9s, right? It's just absolute justice. So anything that gets in the way of justice, he's destroying. And the fact that he used the terms, it sent a shiver down through me. It's like, this is a guy that he takes no nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing really scares him. He saw Whitebeard and said, oh, this is the strongest man in the show. Not anymore. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that really scares him. So it's like, so what scares Akainu? And it has to be something that's relatively in contrast to that absolute justice. And what's powerful enough to be a challenge to that? And it's possibly the end of the world government to a degree, right? So who can possibly bring an end to the world government? Well, you would probably say Whitebeard at a certain point, but none of the Yonkos were close. I mean, Kaido probably was the closest because of the Devil Fruit army that he was producing and also what he is. And the Beast Pirates were all right, even though I think they were badly written. They could have gave them a fight more than like Whitebeard Pirates did. But I think it's that connection that Bonney and Kuma, like Zach said, has that connection to Vegapunk. So me personally, which I'm going to ask you guys in a little bit, I think Vegapunk is probably the most powerful person in the show. And it's probably not even close. And the fact that Bonney and Kuma, or Kuma, has this relationship that we just don't know of, Akainu knowing that probably Bonney is Kuma's daughter, she probably knows something too that can wreak havoc on that absolute justice, or like turn nations upside down to where they're like revolting the way Lulucia did. So I just think that it's a chain reaction from Bonney, but it's not Bonney herself. She just starts the snowball and then it gets bigger. Okay. So I don't know. That's kind of what I think, but I just found it interesting because I'm just like, this man would never say that ever, but he did. So that's interesting. So my next question was, I kind of want to dig deeper into like your psyches. Like I want to know where your morality gauge is at. So we have Dr. Vegapunk, right? He's creating all these crazy weapons. He has all these crazy inventions, and they're 500 years into the future from normal society right now in One Piece. Do you believe, regardless of where he stands, good or evil, should he be taken out? And I'm gonna slide it to Recon on that one.
So one more time for the last part of the question. It was cutting out a little bit.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good.
Regardless of Vegapunk being good or evil, should he be taken out?
I would say regardless and of whether like Vegapunk ends up being a disaster to the One Piece verse, I don't think so. I don't think so because I feel like at this point, when somebody with Vegapunk's brain at the very like, so I'm looking at this from like a creator's standpoint, right? And for me, regardless of what Vegapunk has done, and I don't know how long he's been living. I don't know if it's been like 800, 500, 400, whatever it is. I feel like whatever the Straw Hats are about to do to him, or about to like do here, is about to significantly change that. That as they do every other person that they've ever come across in the show. And so for me, it's just like every other aspect of the series, and the thing that Luffy continues to showcase us through these characters, especially through the Straw Hats, is not caring about what happened before they got to the island. Like now they can be a different person. And I feel like now if Vegapunk, regardless of the way that he ends up being before, or even now as we currently are in the arc, I feel like after meeting the Straw Hats, that is going to be the version of Dr. Vegapunk that Oda's going to want us to see. And so whether that's a good individual or the worst atrocity to mankind, I would honestly keep him alive because the thing is, right, like it's hard for me to answer those questions because I love evil characters and I want them to stay alive in the series of One Piece. Like I love, even though it almost always goes into the gray side, but they're always so much fun. So if Vegapunk ends up being like a Doflamingo chaotic individual, I'm all down for that. But as far as like would I personally like do it myself, I wouldn't, because I see. Have you guys watched Bleach?
Yeah.
Zach, have you watched Bleach?
I'm not the entirety.
Okay, gotcha. So there's a character in Bleach called Mayuri Kurotsuchi, and Mayuri falls definitely on a very weird side of the spectrum there. And I feel like even Mayuri, for me, I would keep alive because of how much he does to benefit the individuals in that show. Even though he does many things that are considered evil, there are so many things that he does that benefit mankind that he would have to stay alive. And I feel like Vegapunk's the same way. Where even if Vegapunk's experiments have done some sort of bad, whether it be to the planet or to the people, what he's done has also benefited a bunch of individuals as well. So I don't think I would kill him, just me personally, because I see a lot of Mayuri in him.
Okay. What about you, Zach? Where is your morality gauge at on this? You take him out?
Yeah, I would agree with Recon. Recon spoke more to like, I feel like the narrative side of like how much Vegapunk adds to the story. If we were like thinking about Vegapunk almost essentially in the real world, where you have this absolute genius that is just gonna keep pushing, and you don't know when they're gonna push too far, I still think you just let that person thrive, because like Recon said, they're just gonna benefit the overall society more until that moment, right? And you just I feel like you have to take that risk when it comes to geniuses like that. You have to let them flow. And I feel like part of why the world moves forward and progresses is because you have all of these people that act differently, that are beyond like the normal person in terms of their innovations and stuff like that. Sometimes they get a little crazy and set us back a little bit, but I think for the most part what you do is you trust I think you have to trust the human good that will come through, and if not, you gotta snipe them when it
That's
goes
right.
wrong.
Yeah.
you gotta Buster call him or Lucci or something.
When it goes wrong, you can snipe them then. But until
That's
then,
right.
let the man thrive. Let the man thrive.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Instant Messenger Sama still hasn't Lucia Vegapunk. It's like
You called him Instant Messenger Sama?
Yeah, I can't help it. Like, because whenever it was first introduced in 908, the translation, remember that I read, it said im, so it didn't say emu. So I was like,
it was
okay,
in. That's what
it was im,
I
right?
was like,
And so
I was like, oh, cool.
exactly right. So I was like, im, like instant messenger. So it's been stuck like that ever since, man. That's all I call him.
Yo,
Instant
the
messengers.
name fits because if
It
he
does.
like, let's say like that's indeed Uranus, right?
Mhm,
And he's just using instant messenger, right? Like
Mhm.
to use it,
yeah.
like to some degree.
Yeah, no, exactly. He's like sending instant messages to Uranus. He's like, yo, just do it. Just do it. Execute them.
So I'm gonna push back on both of y'all, man. I think you take him out.
Okay.
I think
You
you
think he
take
just
him
gets
out.
sniped
Already?
right off the bat?
I think you take him. Listen. So we got Vegapunk, right?
Mhm.
And he's capable of doing everything, but we know his limitations is resources. He expands his resources. He doesn't have enough of it, right? There's never enough because
Mhm.
his mind is just so developed to the point where like
Oh.
he needs resources in order to make these things happen. He just can't make them without it. That was proven on Katakuri Island, right? He couldn't heat the island because
Mhm.
he expended all his resources. To me, I feel like the man is making Neptunians to a degree, but modified and controlled so he can make an ancient weapon such as Shirahoshi. If he wanted to, he can clone people's DNA and, I don't know, make another Shirahoshi. Or he can just create Pluton, which we know is a ship. He's fully capable of that too, as long as the resources is there. And I just feel like you got to look at it this way. If we have 3 Kaidos running around, that's possible if he has the resources. If he wanted to make a bunch of Kainus, he could do that too. If he wanted to recreate him, he can do that too. It's like this guy necessarily could build a nuke, and even though it's not used for any evil purposes, the fact that he's able to just make another ancient weapon which can wipe societies out, I feel like you gotta put him down, man. I mean, regardless if he's good or not, I'm sorry. It's just you're too smart and too powerful for your own good. And it's like Tom said, right? When we went to Tom, he was speaking to Iceberg, he was speaking to Frankie. He said, you know, Frankie's like, oh, I can't believe the humans are capable of building Pluton. And then he was like, let's build one right now. And then Iceberg punches Frankie on the head and he's like, did you not hear what Tom just said? He's like, yo, we're not gonna build something like that because it could be used for evil intent. Even though when you build something, you shouldn't build it because it will be evil or it will be good. You're just building it because you can. It necessarily doesn't have a morale or an intent from the get. It's just how people use it. And I feel like there's too many like bad people in One Piece, bro. Like there's bad people everywhere. So I gotta take Vegapunk out until times get
But
better.
don't you think you're jumping the gun a little quick? Like, just limit the man's resources, you know? Like, keep a watch over him. To go immediately to snipe?
You know, I have to, bro.
Yeah, bro, but you got to think about it, right? Like, also Vegapunk, I would say, is like a power balance in and of himself, right? Like, you have the Yonko, then you'll have the Revolutionary Army over here. But bro, anybody that messes with Instant Messenger Summon, we already see what he does, right? Like, he's capable of literally nuking an entire island. So I feel like if somebody like that exists, we need to keep Vegapunk around just in case. You know what I mean? Like, yo, if M starts going crazy, we need an escape. We need a space shuttle to another planet. And I feel like Vegapunk's the only one on the planet that can provide something like that. Because you're absolutely right that man, there's so many individuals in the One Piece world. Actually, I would say we, like the Straw Hat Pirates, would use some of that stuff for things that aren't necessarily, seen as more as good, right? But in the overall scheme of things, I feel like Vegapunk would be the only one to allow us to like escape something insane, or I don't know, man, like take us 500 years into the future, literally, so we could escape something like Insama or a war or something. So it's like there's so much good, but there's also like so much bad. It's a difficult question for sure.
Yeah, I mean, let's say this. So what if we find out that the Uranus, suspected Uranus, is actually not Uranus? What if it's just another Vegapunk invention? You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Like we got,
Yeah.
like imagine
but still, the person you need to take out in that case is Eam.
Yeah.
Like Vegapunk, unless he's in a position of power, he's really
yeah.
not as dangerous because he doesn't have the resources and backing. If he's in
Yeah.
a position of power because of Im right now, that's where
Mhm.
the danger comes from, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, because to me, I know the ancient shipwrights on Water 7 built Pluton. I'm
Mhm.
taking them out. I'm buster calling them, bro. You're never building this again. Like, I'm sorry. You can't have this.
So
Mhm.
it's of like if Bezos comes out with like a army of AIs within the next week, you're pulling the Glock out.
Get them out. Get them out. Get them out. It's either that or we gotta hire freaking Elon Musk to build his own AIs, right? Because that's what
right?
Pluton
Yeah.
is. They said
Yeah,
they
pretty
literally
much.
said
Yeah.
Pluton's only counter defense is another Pluton.
Yeah.
Like what?
That might be some foreshadowing, actually, for later on.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna have another Pluton built?
Oh yeah, we could. I would
Why not?
imagine that in the final war, we're probably gonna see so many insane things that I wouldn't be surprised if we see like
Yeah, it's getting
multiple,
crazy,
two
man.
Plutons.
Like
Yeah,
the amount of stuff, like the fact that we're already getting like Lulucia getting destroyed, and that's
Yeah.
just like a teaser. Like think
seriously.
about when we actually get to Shirahoshi and the ancient weapons evolve. And I think
Exactly.
when we get to that final arc, the power climb of these characters is gonna be crazy because Luffy, I think Luffy will straight up punch Fishman Island and destroy it. Like that's how crazy
Yeah.
it's gonna get.
Yeah, facts.
So let's say like each person gets an ancient weapon. But what fraction of the armies in the show you think gets an ancient weapon in the final war? Like let's say they're all three of them going to be used.
I say Luffy Poseidon for sure.
He for sure has that.
Man, Pluton. It's like so Uranus. I think it. So the way I see it, right? You guys have both watched Yu-Gi-Oh or played Yu-Gi-Oh?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I talked to lads about this the other day, where I was like, I look at the three ancient weapons, like the three Egyptian gods. Like if Uranus is really under Im, and that's what we saw, that's the Winged Dragon of Ra. So I think that's gonna stay forever on the side of the antagonist. Now, the thing is gonna be Obelisk, just like in Battle City. Like who's gonna get the Obelisk? Because Slifer's already with us, right? We already know Poseidon and Final War, we're gonna have Slifer. But Obelisk, if it falls in the hands of, or Pluton, if it falls in the hands of the Revolutionary Army, that's gonna be really key, especially depending on what that actually is. But that's where we get into what you were talking about earlier in regards to two Plutons. Because if the WG, knowing that Pluton's gonna fall into the hands of the Revs, they're gonna build one of their own. Like, oh, we can't, especially if they have we don't have the blueprints anymore, but let's just say that one of them arrives. All right, Kevin, I got you. But let's just say that one of them, huh? Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Give me a second.
No, it's all right. I was like, yo, is somebody whispering to me?
Like who's Kevin? When did he happen to call? You guys, I want to quickly talk about like
Yeah.
both of you have been talking about Uranus as the weapon. I actually think it's the national treasure of Marijua.
And what's that?
Whatever the thing Eam just used to blow it all up. Because like
Wouldn't that be
I feel
Uranus?
I mean, here's the I think the only two paths for this is either Uranus, because that makes sense, is like the sky, whatever, right? But like the conversation when Doflamingo had with the national treasure Marijua, where he said, if I had the Ape Ape no Mi, I could just fully use the national treasure Marijua and stay in power forever. And I think that's essentially what happened with Eam. Like for the longest time, he had the Ape Ape no Mi and just kept staying alive with this national treasure. Maybe the national treasure Marijua is Uranus, who knows, right? But like that conversation, I just think it connects so perfectly. Like he has this monstrous weapon in his back pocket and he's immortal essentially. So like anytime things start to act up, he's like, great cleansing, let's go, just wipe everybody out. 7 places started rebelling, just wipe all 7 places out, and he's immortal. Like that is, I feel like that just ties perfectly with the Doflamingo conversation, that even if it is Uranus, then Uranus I think is the national treasure Marijua.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah.
When you really, so I'm very sorry about that. I had to go get the door.
No, that's cool.
There's somebody at the door.
I tell Kev to come through, man.
Yo,
talk
facts.
too.
Yo, facts. One of these days, I'll be like, yo, man, come in, dude. Let's talk about some One Piece. Yeah, as a matter of fact, just a real quick fun fact. On the old channel, I actually had him because when Gear 4, the cliffhanger dropped in 2015, everyone was putting out theories, and rather than putting out one of my own, it was just me and my brother, and we were like, yo, what do you think it's gonna be? And it was just a fun like a minute video of us spitballing. But no, that was just little fun facts from back in the day.
Yeah, I always thought the national treasure that they were hiding was probably in regards to what Uranus could be. But then I had like this other idea, and it was so far-fetched that I was like, this can't be possible. But maybe it is. It was so this question I'm going to ask you guys is probably, I'm jumping a little bit ahead, but it's the transfer of wills. So in my mind, when I look at Kaido's devil fruit, I go, there's nothing wrong with it, right? The only thing that Vegapunk considered it a failure, even though it was perfect, was that he probably couldn't transfer the will of the devil fruit into the smile fruit that Momonosuke ate. And now he's probably able to do it with the seraphims, right? So my mindset was always, I always thought there was two types of joy boys, right? So there's the good joy boy.
Oh, there's clearly.
Yeah, there's the good joy boy, which is Luffy or the Ace or whoever else that you think would be in consideration. And then there's the bad joy boy, which brings the dawn, which not the dawn, but the night, right? And that would be like Blackbeard, probably Zebek. Yeah, like rocks. So I know that there's a cemetery under Marie Joa, and I always thought that maybe there was, the bodies of these previous Joy Boys. So there's like a Joy Boy graveyard. And I know that's been brought up before, that when Im went to the bottom of Marie Joa and he saw the huge straw hat, that somehow Im was able to transfer some type of will into Uranus of the previous Joy Boys in order to use it. The same way like Shirahoshi is able to use her powers to have control over Sea Kings. So maybe it's the same. Maybe you need like a Joy Boy candidate in order to like control Uranus to a degree.
That's really interesting. I've never heard about that. Like you said, for the comes to the Joy Boy graveyard. You remember when 906 dropped and going down towards the giant straw hat, there was like those 7 little openings.
Yes.
And that was a big thing. Like that could have been the seven generations of Joy Boy, right? And so that's really cool. I never put that together. So
when you look at that scene too, in the manga, the hallway is lit up, the one that Im is gonna walk through. But in the anime, it's not lit up. It's actually the same color as every other hallway that he's about to go into, the corridor.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So it's super weird, but that's where I always went with it. But that's my next question to you guys. Do you think that like Vegapunk is, I don't know, possibly able to transfer the wills of devil fruits into, just transfer wills in general? And start with Zach.
He's definitely figured that out, because I think the fact that he's created these seraphims into children, I think is an obvious hint that he's essentially done what Judge did, right? Which is like, I feel like he grew these people essentially, literally from all of the warlords. And like, if you look at someone like Boa, well, like Boa's bad example because she does have conquerors, but if you look at like, I'm trying to think now, like like Mihawk, for example. Like if he creates Mihawk and there's no devil fruit power there, then like he has to be able to really transfer the DNA to an incredibly like specific degree to that where Mihawk, like for the most part, is completely recreated, right? So like, and I think like there's no way that he's only doing that with just their DNA to really capture the power of all these people with like Boa and Kuma and maybe even Crocodile, some of the older warlords. Like he's definitely maximizing their full powers to be able to be confidently replacing all of them, right? Like if he's making just like a weaker version where it's like he's creating fruits that he still considers to be a failure, that is not fully complete, he wouldn't confidently put it out there and say this is the SSG. Like this is a man that it is so 100% where he's like, where we see the Momonosuke Devil Fruit, which is almost a 1-to-1 recreation. He saw something was missing. He's like, nah, that's not it.
Yeah. I don't know. What about you, Recon? What do you think?
So for me, I think shout out to my boy Presno, who commented this in last week's Afterthoughts. He said, going on what Zach was just saying in regards to the seraphims, I think the biggest indicator on whether the wills, not just into the seraphims, but also into the fruits and all that stuff, it of course is going to come whenever we get the origin of Devil Fruit stuff, but even before that, if we see the Seraphim of Hancock here on Egghead, and her first interaction with Luffy is a blush or a Luffy-sama or whatever it is, right? Like even if she doesn't know who Luffy is, she's like starting to feel these things inside. I think that's when we'll know if Vegapunk truly does transfer wills from one person to another. Because if not, then like you said, it'll just be a thing of, carrying on abilities, powers, strength. But if he's actually able to carry the personality of these individuals, then that's for sure that we're going to see, like, not only in regards to like these cyborgs, these seraphims, putting wills into that, but then we'll get into the origin Devil Fruit stuff. And remember in 1044 when it was brought up that the fruits can choose the owners, then we'll also get some more insight into that. And if that's true as well, then Vegapunk has to be one of the most broken individuals I've ever seen. If he's able to put wills,
Yeah, that's
for real.
stuff. That's insane, man.
Yo, dead ass. Like, this is what I was saying. Like, the dude has to be probably the most powerful person in the show if this is possible. Because I was talking to the Discord, because our Discord is kind of really active, and we're like sitting here, we're throwing ideas out, and I'm like, listen, I could understand how you could take the lineage factor from a devil fruit, or I could see how you could take the DNA from like a person and splice it and make a child into a guy or a chick, right? But I was like, in order to take something that's part of your conscious, like your will itself, like your will has been built up to a certain degree, right? Like the reason why you guys are so great at what you do is because you had your wills challenged and you conquered. And you only learned that through, adversity. And it's like those wills only are strong up to a certain point. So like, let's say like he takes Mihawk's will during the Marineford War, because all the Shichibukai did have a dinner. So I'm suspecting that's where Mihawk got his DNA taken. That, lineage factor comes into play. Or Boa Hancock did it when she was a slave, or she did it at the dinner as well, right? Like some DNA was taken. But the fact is, if you could take the willpower from that person at that point, then that Seraphim can only ever be as strong as what Mihawk was at that point in his life.
At that time, yeah.
So it's like,
I
get it, man. Like, it's just scary. It's scary because now you're able to splice DNA, mix it with each other, and then you just add Mihawk's DNA conscience
you just
into
can build
something.
the strongest character, right?
Yeah.
I think that's more powerful than an ancient weapon.
Yeah. No, it really is.
Yeah.
Like, we always joke around about the cyborg Rogers, but man, imagine being able to put something into a cyborg Roger, you know what I mean?
Imagine
or a Whitebeard or a Kaido.
Imagine we see a Roger, a Rox, a Kaido, and a Whitebeard Seraphim.
That's terrifying.
And they're all young.
And they're on the same side. Oh my god.
They're all super young. They all have this crazy ass ability. Yo.
Yeah.
Call the show. It's game.
Yeah, just call it.
Yeah.
Just call it.
Just
dude.
call it, bro. It's not even worth playing anymore.
That's right.
And I think that's probably one of the reasons why Luffy's ability has to be as Hawks as it is, right?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Because he has to be able to imagine to do anything that he wants to do in order to fight something that's probably unbeatable.
Yeah, beyond imagination. Like literally, he's going to he's gonna need to bounce back like things that are just. Can you imagine? Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, Cyborg Roger rocks whatever. Like Cyborg Roger comes in divine departures, anything.
So
and the only person who could bounce that back is Luffy in Gear 5.
We saw We saw Kaido and Big Mom clash and create the sovereignty, right?
Yeah.
Imagine Rocks, Whitebeard, Kaido, and
The
Roger.
world's gonna break. That's it.
Yeah.
It's game over.
It's gonna be Toriko, dude.
That's it.
My goodness.
The entire universe is gonna split. Forget the skies.
Facts.
Yo, I couldn't imagine it. I think it would be so crazy. It's so crazy to think that like we're in the realm that that's possible because Vegapunk is so abnormal to the series, and in a way he kind of breaks it. And this is one of the reasons why we talked about it on the show yesterday, that we think Vegapunk might actually bite the bullet at the end of this arc, because
I can see that.
a lot of what he is going to break the show, right? Like we like Oda never puts it in front of our face, as the Hidden Island says. He's like, yo, the show has never been ran to the point where like Oda gives us all the answers at once. Like he's going to extend it. He's going to keep us interested for as long as possible. And what's going to happen is Vegapunk is going to bite the bullet because of that. And there's another person that kind of was groundbreaking as much as Vegapunk, and that was Toki. And Toki ended up dying because she was from the Void Century.
That's facts. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I also explained that, yo, we're tapping into like all the creations and inventions of Vegapunk, right? Yo, we haven't even gotten to the point where like he probably knows about quantum mechanics.
In the One Piece verse.
In the One
That's
Piece
insane.
verse. In the One Piece verse. So that means most likely we're gonna see some time travel things, right?
Yeah. Oof. That'd be nuts.
That gets messy. That could get messy.
That could get
That's
messy.
why. That's why she just killed off Toki. Is that time fruit? I don't know where it is.
Yeah. dude, whoever
it.
has that thing as their lips sealed, they're just like, they don't want to get off.
Oh man, I was thinking the same. I was like, bro, like he could probably put people in like cryostasis where like they can't move because they're stuck in time, and it's just in a glove.
God,
like in his photon gloves that he can now do.
Photon gloves.
Yeah. It's like, why not?
Dude,
take him out, bro. Take him out, bro.
Snipe him.
I'm the Gorosei, bro. Bomb him, bro. Yo, Ohara had to go, bro.
Vegapunk never existed.
They're gonna erase his name from the books, from everywhere, dog.
Yeah. All right, so I think Hidden Island just came through, so I'm gonna invite him in, guys.
Okay.
Boy.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yo.
Hidden.
Yo.
Bro.
Hidden.
What's going on?
What's up? What's up?
Good, yo?
Thank you
It's a
for
pleasure,
joining,
man.
sir. Is he there?
Okay.
There he goes.
What's good,
Oh, with the
gentlemen?
devil fruit.
That's good.
Yo, Recon.
Yeah, I came equipped.
Recon, if you haven't met Hidden Island, Recon.
Yo,
What's up,
it's a
Recon?
pleasure, my man. Yes, sir.
Yo,
How's it going?
bro. It's
Yes, sir.
going well, man. It's going well. I was just watching some Better Call Saul before hopping on here.
Nice.
That
Yeah.
show's fire.
You preparing
Now
your
I'm ready to talk
savagery?
about I'm getting ready to talk about One Piece now. I hear you guys talking about Vegapunk dying.
Mhm.
I'm putting my chips in that basket personally. So yeah.
So, Hidden, I'm gonna start with you because I have this excellent question, and I think this is gonna interest everybody right now. All right, so within Road to Laugh Tale, Volume 4, we learn that Zoan Awakenings have a major drawback, unlike Paramecia's, right? With a Zoan Awakening, the user could be fully consumed by their Zoan, causing them to become simple-minded. They start to act out of instinct and power. We saw Kaido ask Luffy more than once who Luffy was while he was in Gear 5. Now, we have seen Luffy go Gear 5 somewhat involuntarily the past 2 chapters in a row. Is Luffy in danger of being consumed, and will Vegapunk tell him if so?
Yes. And I think it's only a danger for Luffy when he goes into Gear 5. So every gear has to have some sort of drawback, right? Gear 2 was his lifespan gets shortened. Gear 4 was he can't access his haki basically for 10 minutes after using it. Now, the big drawback is going to be this balancing act of like trading power for a little bit of yourself. And that's going to be the biggest problem for Luffy, going forward. And I think Oda's kind of hinting at that with these like little moments here and there where he taps into it. I don't know if it's like his personality is going away. I mean, Luffy seems just as much Luffy as ever before.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that even if Joy Boy took over, I feel like it'd still be the same dude practically because, you know, so
Mhm.
like
That's true.
I do think it will be an issue though when he actually taps into Gear 5 again because we have yet to see that and Road to Laughtail did clarify and to expand on what Oda said there, he was talking about like I think there was some line mentioning how the user kind of loses themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense when you look back at like the Impel Down guards,
Yeah.
because those are the first
Yeah,
awakenings we ever saw.
Facts.
I'm assuming the whole thing with them is that they were just too weak to handle the awakening,
Mhm.
and then the awakening took over, and then they became mindless animals, basically. So it's interesting to see like where this is gonna go, considering now we're getting the awakened zones coming back into full form, and
Mhm.
makes me wonder why Kaido didn't use it. Because if it has anything to do with the power of the zone that you have within
He's
you,
scared, bro.
yeah, it could
he's
be.
not ready
Who
to lose
knows?
control.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, yeah,
Like-
that actually would make a lot of sense.
Right?
Yeah,
Like, imagine, think
Yeah.
about it. Like, if the dragon zone is like a dragon is like a naturally, and now my camera's out of
Right.
focus. Hold on. a dragon,
You're
a
talking too
dragon
much,
is,
bro.
yeah, I know,
They're
right?
ready to
It's
snipe you.
pulling me off.
Your
That's
zone
Oda.
goes down.
Oda's doing this right now.
Yeah,
I'm saying too much.
facts.
So like a dragon zone, like a dragon you'd imagine to be a very fierce and like violent creature. So like if you awaken a dragon power, I could only imagine that would have a lot of effect on the user. It would probably make Kaido lose control. So I think he doesn't awaken for a reason, knowing what we know now.
Yeah.
See if I
So
can
That's
fix.
interesting to take.
That is
for
so
sure.
interesting. Yeah.
what about
Yeah.
you, Zach? What do you think, bro?
Oh yeah, I fully agree because even before we found out like the specifics from Road to Laughtail, like when Luffy went into Gear 5th, I was like, something's different with him. Like, yes, he's having fun, but my guy is cracked out. Like,
Yeah.
his eyes are bugging. Okay,
Yeah.
and
His
like,
eyes are bugging.
and like, I feel like when he went to Gear 5th, I feel like we overlooked this a lot. Like, he ended up winning, but he was getting decked still.
Oh yeah,
Like
he
every
was getting one
attack just
shot.
kept missing, and like it would be like giant form gets bitten, like
Mhm.
thunder misses, gets
Mhm.
burrow blasted. Like he was taking a beating. Like it was just like
Yeah.
you gotten so much stronger, but like you're just not mentally quite there yet until he busted out the Giganto fist. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
like absolutely, before we even found out about like the specifics, which made it make so much more sense because I was like, what is going on here? Because it's still Luffy, but he's definitely not like completely there. Like, is he just having that much fun that he's just losing himself? That seems
Mhm.
a little too extreme, right? So like, especially like the point you made about like now he's starting to just like randomly like show
Yeah.
signs of Gear 5th as well. That's a
Mhm.
really good point. I think it's just gonna play into the drawbacks of Gear 5th, and Hidden made it a great point that every single gear is gonna have some
That's
type
right.
of drawback to kind of balance it out.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you, Recon? What do you think, man?
Yo, phenomenal points brought up, dude. I'm genuinely mind blown right now, and it's and so the only thing I can add is just narratively, this is the best case scenario because we all came out of Wano being like, who in the world's gonna see Luffy right now, right? Like this
Right.
ability's so broken,
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
it's absolutely insane. So what better than him having to fight himself? Like in the middle of battle,
Right?
There you go.
the internal conflict is over the external conflict. That'll be the first time since the Marineford stuff where we'll see that. Like Luffy's internal conflict taking the forefront. So that for me would be amazing. All of my favorite, well at least a lot of them have this. A lot of my favorite main characters have this, or they have like this internal power that they can't control and they're trying their hardest to control it, but there's something that won't allow them to. And I feel like if that's really about to be the case with Luffy, knowing how he is, this would be another twist on it, and I'm so down for that to be what drives the fights moving forward, considering, like I said, this ability is so broken that not only does it need a severe drawback, but for that drawback to fit into the narrative in a way to where it makes it compelling, and that would be so good. Like Luffy actually having to control himself, or in the finals part of the series, we see a controlled Gear 5th. Who is stopping that, dude? A controlled
No
Gear
one.
5th Luffy, you know? It's a wrap. So nah, yeah, I love the idea. The idea is great.
I think it makes sense, a lot of sense. I'm sorry to
No, go.
cut you off, Larry. I've been thinking about it lately, and I realized that Oda is putting a lot of emphasis on zone type devil fruits in the latter half of the story.
Mhm.
And now that we got the Nika reveal, it makes a lot more sense. Why? Because from the beginning we were told that Logias were like the rarest type, and they were like the most special type of devil fruit. And once that kind of got taken out of the spotlight, once Haki was introduced, the next thing was mythical zones. These are the rarest type of devil fruit. These are the most special type of devil fruit. And then we're seeing more and more characters with these mythical zone abilities appear. So Oda is like putting a great emphasis on that. So I wouldn't be surprised, you know, we just had an arc centered around zone users. I wouldn't be surprised if Oda continues off of that train of thought with the remaining villains of the story. Like, I could see it very much being the case. You know, we have Blackbeard still left on the docket. We have Eam left on the docket. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if all these major villains that are left are going to have some ties to the ancient, or not the ancient, the mythical zones, because these are, at this point, they're probably the most important devil fruits of them all, because we know that they can contain important mythical beings. Luffy is very much proof of that people from the Void Century or figures from the Void Century can exist now through zone devil fruits, which is, you know, that takes them to a whole new level compared to everything else. So
that's right.
So for that same reason, Dragon is gonna be a beast.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Larry.
100%.
Yo,
I'm glad I got both y'all on my side, bro. For that same exact reason, Dragon's gonna be a beast.
That's right.
Yeah.
it's gonna be really cool because like now that Vegapunk's coming into the picture, we know we're about to find out the origin of fruits and like the will, exactly what they were referring to in 1044. So if that really is going to be a part of it, it's like, man, so you're telling me there's something in there that is actually, then that makes you think, like, how in the world these fruits come to be? Like, did they get locked in there? Is this other individual that's locked in the devil fruit? Like, were they punished? Were they locked? Like, what is, there's so many different things, and I feel like we're gonna find out so much of that when Vegapunk sees Gear 5, like the actual Gear 5. And then he'll be like, oh, wait a minute, it's info dump time, and we're gonna be like, let's go, baby. So
I have a question for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So we know how like Vegapunk is like trying to figure out the stuff with devil fruits, right? And we have Frankie who's kind of like seen Vegapunk's research and has been, in a way, I feel like Oda might be building up to a situation where Frankie kind of inherits Vegapunk's research in a way. Do you think it's possible that maybe at some point Frankie's gonna perfect the artificial devil fruits in place of Vegapunk?
No.
You don't think so?
That's not his specialty.
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
like he wouldn't even be interested in it. Really.
Exactly. Yeah. I would.
Because he's just like, give me the rockets, give me the Glocks, like give me the mechs, like.
He's gonna learn Burning Finger, guarantee it.
It just
from
I
G
love,
Gundam.
Zach, I love that. That man said, "Give me the Glock." Dude. Like, Frankie's like, "Give me the dang Glock."
I wonder if he'll use that research though, because he definitely had to read something on it, right? In not in Punk Hazard, in Karakuri. Like when
I will say, to be fair, he did come back with the laser beam that is.
He did.
Yeah.
Based off Kizaru,
Yeah. The reason I asked that question, it was because that must mean that Sengoku is experiencing the same thing with his Hito, right? Like, if he was to fully transform at one point against Roger or Whitebeard, because they were the epitome of just, you know, of strength, then that means that he might have lost himself a little bit too, right? To some degree. Or even why Marco didn't fully transform into his awakened state. And I just wonder, like, how much is Luffy right now? Is Luffy like 90% and then he's now 10% Nika? Or is he like 80% and 20% Nika? And if he uses Gear 5 again, does he know that he will lose himself even more? And it's like, how much are we going to start thinking that Nika is actually Luffy or Luffy is actually Nika? And I feel like, I've said this before, like on our show, but like it's starting to intertwine the personalities. And it's probably why we think that Luffy and Nika seem so similar. And I know that Recon brought it up before, early in our conversation, but it's the manipulation of fate, right?
Yeah.
Like, how much is a devil fruit literally manipulating fate?
Manipulating, 100%.
Are the mythical zones only capable of such things? If so, are they working together? Like, there's this whole other world of One Piece madness that we haven't necessarily dived into because we're expecting Vegapunk to give us all those answers. But if he tells us right now that the time fruit manipulated Toki into going into the future to help Odin discover Roger, so Roger could then discover the One Piece, which would then go to Shanks grabbing the Nika fruit for Luffy to have in order to bring this whole new dawn. You're like, bro, is the show even written anymore, or is it just fate at this
It was
point?
Toki all
Yeah.
along.
Yeah, it was Toki.
It was Toki all along. She's the
It was
One
Toki
Piece.
all along. That's right.
So
Uh,
that's like one of the greatest questions I think I have on the series. It's because everybody tries to compare it to Bleach, where like they're like, yo, Ichigo was always destined to do all these great things because he's Hollow, he's Quincy, now he's, you know, Shinigami. And it's like, what is Luffy? Well, Luffy's probably nothing. It's probably all the devil fruit. And I don't know what to really believe. So I think I'm on the fence with everything.
yeah,
That I would.
Go ahead, Zach.
Okay, I was gonna say that I would disagree with because like
Me too.
this was a conversation that popped up once we found out about, you know, the Luffy having a special devil fruit, right? And it was just like, oh, okay, was this like fate versus destiny type of thing that was going on? At the end of the day, like the freedom of choice and Luffy's identity of like how much he like values freedom, and like that is
Yes.
one of the biggest reasons, not only for his own dreams and goals, but like if you think about like all the people that he's helped, it's been liberation, right? It's been
That's right.
liberation of so many different like kingdoms and stuff like that. Like that is such a core theme of One Piece. I just can't imagine Oda would go against that with the idea of fate and destiny. I think so. I think he's playing us here to a degree where he's kind of introducing how it all intertwines, but it's actually not what we think.
Yeah, agreed. And in that same line, it's not even freedom like externally like that. It's also the way in which he's inspired by so many things, right? Like
For sure.
I always think back to Genzo in Arlong Park and how we saw the pinwheel. That's always my example, because from then on, we saw everything that he finds interesting, he'll introduce it into his moveset in some sort of way. And Gear 5 to me is that now limitless. So now instead of having to go into Gear 2 to use Soru, or having to go Gear 3 to become a giant, or Gear 4 in order to mimic
Everything.
the animals, now Gear 5 he can do everything. And that's why, for me, only Luffy can make Gear 5 what it currently is. I think if any other character had it, they wouldn't be able to do what he's currently doing with it. And that's why, for me, when it comes to the fate conversation with Luffy, I still believe that he's earned everything that he's been given. He's gotten lucky a few times for sure.
So you think
but
that
he's definitely earned.
so you think the
everything.
devil fruit itself has very limited fate manipulation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. I think there's just an internal battle of like personality and will.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like it's not shifting your actions to really predetermine everything.
For sure. And I feel like Luffy's will is so strong that nothing else will be able to conquer it anyway. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually have a pretty strong opinion on the destiny thing. I actually touched on this before. I had what I thought was a pretty good comparison that kind of illustrate why Luffy is not simply just the chosen one. So you guys know the story about King Arthur and
Yeah.
Excalibur,
Yes.
where he pulls the sword from the stone. So the whole story goes that King Arthur was, you know, he started out as like a peasant basically, and he wasn't like worthy of being a knight. And it was after Merlin meets the young Arthur that he teaches him all these things about the world, and he shows him all these different things about how all the people and creatures of the world live. And it was only after that, when Arthur went to pull the sword from the stone, it was because he remembered everything he learned about the world that he was worthy of being a king, and thus he was able to pull the sword and become the king. So the way I see it, it's like the same deal with Luffy, right? I don't think the devil fruit was like meant to just specifically find Luffy. And I don't think, because if it was just simply a prophecy where Joy Boy was like, oh, I'm going to be reborn in this X amount of years, and then, you know, the Gum Gum fruit will come back to me. Why did he choose 800 years? Why wasn't it like 50 years, you know?
100%.
So, like, the way it makes me feel is like, no, there just wasn't anyone appropriate for the Gum Gum fruit up until Luffy, and the way it got to him was, it wasn't like the fruit just popped up in front of Luffy. Like, you know, it was more so that Shanks found Luffy and mentored Luffy and turned Luffy into like the ideal, you know, freedom-seeking pirate. He's the one that implanted all those values within him. And at the end of the day, when Luffy ate the fruit, that might have been a sign that like, okay, this is the one. Like the fruit chose him, it got to him, and that's why Shanks even saved him. Because if Shanks, for whatever reason, felt like Luffy wasn't the one that was supposed to have the Gum Gum fruit, he knew the magnitude of what that meant. I mean, I don't know if he would have, but wouldn't you have just let Luffy just get eaten by the Sea King and then get the devil fruit back, give it to the right guy? I don't know.
I still
Can you imagine that? He's like, this guy.
Like, yeah, it's like,
It's gonna kill him.
like this is like this is an 800-year prophecy, and this kid just
Yeah,
ate
bro.
the fruit. Like, what do we do? You know? So it's
Yo,
like, he let him keep it. He saved him. I feel like that was Luffy being chosen not by destiny, but by his peers, by the people around him who recognize him as worthy.
Yeah.
yo,
You know?
low key. I like the idea that Shanks was looking for Ace, and he wanted to
No,
give
no,
him the
I
fruit.
back that. I
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
back that.
yeah.
I think
it's a
he
great
went
theory.
looking for Ace.
That would have been
And then
dope.
he met Luffy, and he was like, "Oh, okay, this kid has same values." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Luffy ends up eating the fruit, and then eventually, I think what really sealed it is when Luffy steps up and puts his life on the line just
Yeah.
in front of those bandits for them bad mouthing Shanks, and that was the moment where Shanks was like, "Okay, this kid's got like all the value. He's got the same dream as my captain. He literally has the same core beliefs as I do of like." Stick up to your friends. They are the most important people. And then it was really after that event where he purposely sacrifices his arm to like really teach Luffy a lesson of like, yo, this pirate game is not a joke. It's serious. Okay. Let me give you this one final lesson, give you the hat to really inspire you and then set you on the right path. But you are like you because of who you are as a person were meant for this.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for all your inputs, yo. I love that I'm talking to all three of you guys, by the way. Like, I'm sitting here
great.
like curating, but at the same time, I'm like fanboying right now. So I do have another question, and this question happens to be a very hot topic type of question that we discussed on yesterday's episode, and we've been talking about theories. I've been talking to you about what you think in regards to like your morality and stuff like that. But let's dip into the power scaling a little bit. I want to touch all areas, okay? So, on yesterday's podcast, we had a caller by the name of Terrence call up, and he basically said to us that Luffy, right now, after beating Kaido, post Wano, and with Lucci on his way to Egghead, that Lucci and Luffy would fight, and Luffy would win hard diff. What's your
his name? Let me find his username.
Now,
Dude,
I didn't start with Recon just yet, but I'm gonna start with him right now on this topic. So,
Okay.
Recon, give me your thoughts. And does this sound crazy?
Dude, Lucci's either gonna get. So there's two things that could happen here. Either Lucci gets Bellamy'd, maybe not that bad, where he gets one shotted, but it's gonna be pretty like Lucci doesn't want to see Luffy right now. Or if we go back to what we were talking about earlier with the fruit, if it starts taking over and like that turns into the conflict of that fight, I could see it being hard just because Luffy's never dealt with that before. He's never dealt with like an internal force stopping him from doing something. That's never been in Luffy's in any of his fights, right? But if that doesn't happen, Lucci's getting bodied. That's Gear 5 Luffy. You don't want to see it. If he didn't want to see Gear 2nd Luffy, I know that he's gotten swole. I know Lucci's on a different level right now. But this is Yonko Big D Monkey Goat Man, all right?
Monkey Goat Man.
I'm telling y'all. And ain't nobody on the seas seeing him right now except for like a handful of individuals. And Lucci's not one of them. So that's my take.
What about you, Zach?
Yeah, I agree with Recon. But I will add one more point. Like, I don't think Gear 5 is gonna be a problem because he's not gonna need it. Like, he could just base form and it's over,
Yeah.
bro.
Get those facts,
The Advanced
man.
Conquerors hockey, like you don't need to go. We don't even need Gear 2nd. Like,
You're spitting, dude. Base form Akainu, bro. Base form can whoop Lucci, dude.
Come on now.
God.
Like, base form is going head to head with Kaido. Like,
Yeah.
Lucci, come on, man.
You guys are gonna hate me. You guys are gonna hate me for my answer.
Go ahead, and say your ridiculous answer, bro.
Yeah, my ridiculous answer is I don't think it's actually going to be that much of a sweep. I really feel like because Luffy beat certain people pre-time skip, pre-hockey, pre all this stuff, everyone's like writing off these characters as like super weak compared to Luffy now. But like, I don't know, I'm a defender of them. I feel like, Luffy got 2 years, everyone else got 2 years too, it wasn't just him. And I don't know, I feel like you don't get into CP0 for no reason. Rob Lucci messed up. He messed up big time. So like, if my man made that big of a mistake and they're still bringing him into CP0, there's got to be a reason. We have all these zone awakenings coming out now. Is it possible we're going to see Lucci awaken his zone too? And that might give him the edge. I don't know. I feel like everyone had a chance to grow, not just Luffy. That goes for Crocodile. That goes for everyone that got busted by him pre-time skip. At the end of the day, he's the main character. He's going to win every fight for the most part,
Mhm.
I feel like we got to give Lucci a little bit more credit. I don't think it's not gonna be even, but I don't know if it's gonna be a Bellamy situation.
My only thing against that would be because I absolutely love that. Like I said, when Crocodile came back, I was fanboying. I was like, yes, sir, push my guy to the moon. I want to see my boy going in. You know what I mean? Like same thing when NL comes back eventually, and Lucci. I love Lucci as well. But the thing is Oda just got finished hyping up the Yonko so much that if
Exactly.
Luffy if Luffy were to struggle against Lucci, I would be like, oh, hold on, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Like I was just told we just finished boxing Big Mom and Kaido, and so like if we go into a struggle after that with a character that's not like known to be on that level too, then it would kind of be a bit weird. Honestly, especially with somebody who does not have a fruit that's like a Caesar or like one of those like really OP abilities.
Can I counter that with
Absolutely.
So your point is that basically if Lucci were to give Luffy trouble, we couldn't take the Yonko seriously because of the power scaling. But in that same respect, we've had the world government built up the entire story. They're pretty much the end game villains. So if they're like highest secret agent security task force gets bodied, I feel like it's also tough to take them seriously, right? Because the CP0 is like the arm of the Celestial Dragons, essentially. And then they just get smacked around and they're like, like a villain of the week situation.
Listen,
I don't know, that also downplays the world government too, on the other hand. So I feel like it's,
Listen, Hidden, you wilding out, and
it's okay. It's all good.
You need to stop putting so much respect on him. All right.
I'm gonna put respect on him until I see a reason. Until he gives me a reason otherwise.
Listen, the highest task force in the government is not the CP0. You know what I'm saying? They're the highest assassination group. When we talk about the highest task force, that goes to the admirals, and the admirals
I think they have more in their back pocket too.
We know it's Yonko over admiral.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I know that, but I'm pretty sure CP0 has more pull than the admirals because their job is specifically to work for the Celestial Dragons. I know the admirals answer directly to them, but at the end of the day, the Marines are a separate thing from the world government. The world government has their own stuff. The Marines are just their military. So
you think the Holy Knights are strong?
I don't think the Holy Knights are like, stronger than admirals, but I would probably say that the Holy Knights are, good enough to keep Marijo secure, especially they might be on the level of vice admirals or just normal Marines or whatever, but I think CP0 is the one that we have to we have to take them a little bit seriously right now because we haven't seen them do anything in a fight, we haven't seen Lucci do anything post time skip, so there's no telling. I feel like true. I don't know.
No,
I don't know,
got you.
man. Like I get your argument, but I feel like you're gassing a little too much. Right? Like, don't get me wrong. I think Lucci is going to be strong. I get your sentiment about like just because somebody loses to Luffy, who's literally going to be the GOAT, like doesn't mean they're trash now, right?
Absolutely.
I think Lucci's going to be strong. It's just that, like Recon said, Luffy is like in that level now, right? So like, especially when we talk about the CP0 and you had Maha lose to Izo, like it just like what they took each other out, and Izo was like down bad already after fighting Kaido. Somebody in the same type of group as him, Lucci could be stronger than him, but like you can't imagine you imagine Maha like giving Luffy any trouble right now? Like,
Yo, Zach.
That's a good point.
Yo, Zach, he didn't only fight Maha. He fought the drippy Thai guy too.
Yeah, Dripper was there
at the same time
as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. I mean, maybe it won't be Luffy that Lucci fights, but I feel like he's still gonna
give fights other Straw Hats. To be honest.
Gonna.
People have said Robin. That could be cool.
Me too. I want there to be a confrontation between Luffy and Lucci, but not a fight. Like I would rather have a clash with like I don't know, Lucci and someone else.
If anything, I would think it shows how far Luffy has grown.
For sure.
Yeah.
Luffy's gonna be like, yo, I just fought a dragon, and you're just like a house cat.
But I will say this though, on Hidden's point, if we see a massive jump from Lucci, it would be a testament to his character. Like this man spent 2 years getting mad swole. So after taking an L, he was like, screw this, I'm gonna go in and try to become the best that I can be, because he did. We know Lucci to be that type of character. Like after he tried to be as strong as he could possibly be in order to exact his justice, and now to be able to still uphold that, especially with the way, and I guess we can talk about this at some other point, but his current internal conflict and where that's going to go. Like, that was a really interesting part of last chapter, is that now he's questioning certain things. So, and he's gonna need to have the strength in order to question. That's how every One Piece character, at least up until this point, every One Piece character that's strong has the right to question, the freedom to question those above them. So I'm interested on how Lucci's going to be played in the story, if he's going to have a major role. And if he's going to play a major role, then he's going to need to have the power jump to accompany it. But I just don't think it's going to be on Luffy's level.
I think the only thing I want to push back on is, like, I hope that's not the case.
Okay.
I hope that the arc that we're about to jump into, because Lucci has like this newfound realization on life, doesn't turn into like a Sanji moment where like we have to spend an extraordinary amount of time on this character while we're missing out on all the more interesting stuff that could be happening in the arc, such as when Wano was happening. Instead of focusing on Sanji and his troubles, we could have got some, swordsman action or some sword lore for the top 12 graded swords of all time. It's like, that was kind of missed out because Sanji was living through his struggles since Fishman Island up to Wano. So it's like, leave Lucci and pre-time skip. I think that was his moment. The same way Enel, like, don't bring Enel back. Like,
I'll fight you on that.
Enel doesn't need to come back.
He's going too far now. He's going too far.
Listen, bro.
This always happens. He gets you on his side, and then he just keeps going.
Yeah,
He doesn't stop.
I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, wait, what?
Listen, man, I'm serious, man. Leave
Jazz music stops.
Listen,
like,
I'm
He
trying to
lost Recon. Don't bring back Enel.
listen.
Yo, facts, I'm telling you, bro.
Listen, yo, Recon. My favorite characters are Enel and Ace in the entire story, but I don't think that they deserve to come back. Like, Enel just.
Dude, he has all the moon and space pirate knowledge going with him.
Yo,
man.
we
You don't
could
want
get
to see
that.
like his.
We could get that from Vegapunk.
Dude, but NL,
kill
Eminem,
him,
Slimmy Slim, bro.
Yo, I attend the church every Sunday. And I'm telling you right now, I'm good, bro. Let me keep praying, man. Let me keep praying. Pass the basket around.
Holy light coming through on the screen too. Like,
Oh man.
Listen,
you think Luffy altered Lucci's sense of justice permanently?
that's what
after
happened with
this
Neji and Naruto, right?
Yeah.
Got the
I think it's gonna be so interesting in regards to like that for when it comes to the potential altering of Luffy's sense of justice or Lucci's sense of justice. If it becomes a compelling type of conflict with someone else on the island, so let's just say that CP0's going in and there's we don't know where Smoker is. Let's just say hypothetically speaking, Smoker's there, or I don't know, Helmeppo, whoever it is. And there's this like one chapter conflict where we get to see both sides of the Marines here, where we have someone coming in to eliminate Vegapunk and another one that is not in that same line of thought. It would be really interesting, for me at least, to see two sides of the Marines here on this island with someone like Vegapunk enacting their sense of justice, and if that would change any of the characters into one side or another. What do you guys think about that?
That's so dope. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think that'll be so interesting to see play out because we haven't had that much in the story. We haven't had them come head to head, really.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I would love that actually. I hope this arc explores like the different Marine senses of justice because we don't have that many other characters on Egghead right now.
Yeah,
it's
we
just
don't.
Vegapunk,
like,
right?
there's not like a big bad that we have to like. Oh, we gotta beat this guy. If anything, like the Seraphims are gonna be some issues.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good arc for us to have a chance to explore the Straw Hats and Smoker and Tashigi, just all these characters coming together.
For sure.
I really wanna. I know that people are gonna hate this, but I want Big Mom to show up on Egghead.
Oh no.
No.
Oh God, please.
Keep her in the lava for now, man. Keep her in the lava for now.
What's your reasoning, if I may ask?
Yo, cause the way she went out, right, was like anything else we've ever seen from like a conqueror. She literally stated, one, she wasn't even beaten. She got ringed out. And then when she fell, she stated, "Don't think that this would ever kill me." And then she just dies. And then the Big Mom pirates are gone the whole Wano arc, but then they're shown escaping somehow. I get it. Big Mom wasn't a great character for many people. But if she's written the way she should have been written, I think she would be super impressive to show up here and then Luffy has to have that internal conflict that we might think might happen, and it would prove that it's possible that he will lose for sure, and Big Mom sort of redeems herself, and then Vegapunk probably gets taken out by her. I don't know, bro. I just feel like she's either gonna show up on Elbaf if she's still alive, right, or she's gonna show up at Egghead. I would rather get rid of her now than have her on Elbaf.
But I do feel like her role would be much better. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, if it is an Elbaf or a Lodestar, whatever it is, I think it'd be better then, because then at least we could have like her character.
Breather, right? We get a
a breather. Yeah, because I love Big Mom, but we need a break, brother. We need a break.
Yeah.
I just want to see her with like half her body missing, bro, like Whitebeard, and she just shows up like damaged as hell. She's like, I came all the way here.
I'm here for it, man.
Like
Mecha be wrong.
Back.
Yeah,
Mecha Frieza, like a Mecha Frieza type thing.
She's like a Mecha Frieza.
On the Lucci Luffy thing, I just had a really funny thought pop into my head. And if this moment happens, I just want it to be on record. I called this, but Lucci pulls up to the island to assassinate Vegapunk. No idea that Luffy is even there. He didn't say anything about Luffy being there.
No, they don't know,
right? I had no idea.
So now picture this. Lucci goes to assassinate Vegapunk, and then Luffy pulls up. He's like, "Yo, don't touch her." And then you see Lucci's face. It's the NL face, like the panel.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
He gets PTSD from like Luffy being there. He's like, "Oh shit, no, we gotta bounce."
Oh, that'd be so good.
Oh,
if that happens, I just want to put this out there right now. You heard it here. I was like, "Yo, that'd be perfect." Yeah.
Yo, Zach, do you have any questions yourself, man, that you just been sitting on?
Where there's two Zacks in here.
Yeah. I'm calling hidden. I can't call Zach. Yeah. I call it hidden.
I have to do a double take whenever you say Zach, because I'm so like reflexive, like on hearing that.
Sebastian was in the chat and he was like, "Look at Zach talking to Zach."
Oh no, I'm good. I'm chilling. I think he's talking about me talking to hidden.
Yeah, so it's I don't know, man. Listen, Lucci getting like no diff, bro, in my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. I think it's better if we saw like Lucci versus Smoker. Like if Smoker just arrived with like Tashigi, like you said.
Yeah.
I would like to see how that turns out, because Smoker's been needing a dub for a minute, bro. I feel like he got hoed all post time skip.
Hey man, I'm pushing more. This is still one of my top 3 favorite theories. Morge had that theory. It was like 2 years ago about Smoker becoming a Straw Hat.
No.
Oh my god.
I'm pushing this agenda. All right, let me tell you why.
Too far, man.
Let me tell you why, okay?
Now.
So now he's going to meet up with the Straw Hats again. And just like 3 chapters ago, the world government started their great cleansing. What's a better reason for Smoker to decide to leave the Marines than what's happening right now? At the same time he's about to meet up with the Straw Hats. I'm telling you guys, I'm pushing this agenda. I love that theory. I love that theory.
The thing is, I get the idea. Like, Morge never makes a theory where he doesn't explain his thought process, like, completely. So I completely get it. And I, like, agree, like, almost to 95%. Is just, like, he stops at short of joining the crew. Like, why would he join the crew? I just see him as an ally. What he could just do all the exact same arguments, just make the same sense. It's like he is one of the many allies Luffy is gonna have in the final war.
Mm-hmm.
Just in terms of naming characters, I could never see Luffy calling him Smoker. He has to be Smokey until the end of the series. You know what I mean? So he can't join the crew.
Is that his actual name? Is his actual name Smoker?
Has to be, bro.
Do we know that?
Can you imagine that? Like on his birth certificate, it says Smoker.
Yeah, like imagine naming your child Smoker. Like that's crazy. And then that's really lucky that he got that devil fruit.
Right, get that fruit. Right?
What if he had? Like, what if he got like a candy fruit? Like that would have been really awkward, right?
That goes back to the manipulation of fate from earlier. Like,
yeah. Then he would have to smoke on. He would have to use lollipops instead of cigars. That would have been really, really stupid, right?
4 Kids One Piece right there.
Yeah.
Yo, real talk. Yamato is a better reason to join the Straw Hats than Smoker is.
100. Yeah, I'm right there with you for that.
I actually, I don't know. I disagree with that, but I don't want to derail this. No, I will just say that Smoker, the entire story has been questioning like what justice is, and every time he meets with the Straw Hats, he finds himself helping them by the end of it, and he wants to give them the credit for being the saviors. And I feel like if the world government shows us, and it shows him more in particular, that their sense of justice is totally wrong. Like, you know, mass murdering people. I feel like Smoker has a good reason to decide to shift his alliances to the people that he thinks are the ones actually saving people.
I think Smoker
And-
got some weak ass will because there's like 1% amount of pirates that are good and the rest of them are horrible, bro. Like stick to your truth, bro. Don't have a switch up.
But that's the thing, though. He's questioning that because he thought all pirates are bad, and now it's being proven to him that no, they're not all bad. The line between pirates and marines is super thin. And there's that thing that Aokiji said to him that he said, "You learn a lot of things about the world once you leave the marines." And I don't know why Aokiji dropped that line to Smoker specifically, but it just tells me that like maybe Oda's planting seeds for like Smoker to leave, and then if he leaves, where does he go? So like I could see him joining the Straw Hats, and that would be great for Tashigi too, because Tashigi spent the whole story being like Smoker's secretary almost. It would be great like if by the end she ends up getting promoted to captain of that G whatever unit instead of Smoker. She becomes the captain.
You know where
and that would be a
Smoker
great
goes?
arc for her.
You know where Smoker goes? He goes to the kids pirates.
Now you're gonna now you just have to explain it.
Listen, bums stick with other bums, bro.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
Bums gotta stick with other bums, bro. That's it.
all right.
You know what I'm saying? There's no other way around it.
All right, so you're just hating. I get it. It's all good.
Oh man. But Recon, are you staying a little bit more, or are you gonna?
I'm gonna try. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and send out a message. I'm gonna try to stay until like 7:45, 8, and then I'll have to go.
All right.
After that.
Yeah,
I'm on until 8 too, so I feel like that works.
Yeah. So I'll probably end it around like 7:50, 7:45. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, man. Oh man, it's so good. So I do have I was gonna save this for another podcast that's next week, but I feel like asking you guys because we're all dudes, and I feel like this would be kind of funny.
Mhm.
What are your top 5 Gaifus in One Piece?
Gaifus.
Is that a thing?
Like waifu?
Yeah, it's
Like
waifu, but Gaifu.
guy
Yeah.
characters you
Yeah.
fanboy over?
Man. Yep. Okay, let's see.
Hold
I mean,
on. Recon, you want to go or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
first name I'm pointing out there is probably Crocodile, man. That that Armani suit, boy, oh my boy, fire, you know what I mean?
That's where my mind's going. It's all
You
about
feel
the
me?
drip. Like Luffy's my
The
favorite
drip.
character, but like he got
Yeah.
tossed right away. Like,
Yeah.
he
You
got
feel
no
me?
drip.
Yeah.
In Gear 5, he has mad drip, but
Okay,
yeah, it's
true,
like-
true.
yeah,
Definitely
you,
at the
though.
all-white party.
Yeah, Law,
Law.
definitely Law. He's too fresh. He's too raw. Yeah, Law, Croc,
Okay.
Mihawk, dude. On a boat, bro. Just on like having no one else except for Perona, and no one wants to mess with you. That's just come on, man. That's like the hottest thing in the world, dude. Yeah, shout out to Mihawk, dude. And then on that same line of breath, shout out to Shanks. That's another one.
Yeah.
Shanks is too fire. And then
Last one.
last one's probably. Oh, come on, dude. Ace, bro. My dog
Ace?
Ace be looking goaded, bro. Yes, sir. Yeah, either Ace or Zoro. Yeah, guys, I think they both look super goaded. So I'd probably go with
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What about you, Zach?
I have a couple of the same ones. I think Law and Crocodile are in there off drip alone.
Law and Croc?
Yeah, Law and Croc are in there off drip alone. I'm gonna have to put my boy Doflamingo in there as well.
Oh, that's a
Oof.
good one.
Yeah,
that's
that was a
one.
good one.
He-
I was gonna
he's
say.
he's gotta be in there. And then a sneaky one. I'm taking Whitebeard. You know the fatherly vibes. You
we
need
get
a
much
hug
higher?
sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So
Is it Prime Beard
He
or is
gives
it
you-
like old white beard?
I'll take both.
Yeah?
Either one, man.
You like the
Either one.
DILF? The DILF?
Hulk
Oh,
Hogan,
man.
Whitebeard, Prime Beard. Love it.
And then, man, the last one. I'm trying to think if there's like a random one in there that I could sneak in there. Zoro. I'll take Zoro.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that's such an
Yeah.
obvious one.
Yeah, it really is, man.
All right, so Recon has Law, Mihawk, Croc, Shanks, Ace. Zach has Law, Croc, Dofi, Whitebeard, Zoro. What about you, Hidden? Who's your guy foos?
Whitebeard, prime Whitebeard. The long,
Like,
the lock,
like
the locks,
only
the
locks.
hair.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you just
Yo.
picked like 5 Whitebeards from the jump.
No, yeah,
That's
it's
what I
all
thought you were
five, it's
saying.
five different Whitebeards. No, it's Whitebeard, Dofi for sure. He got the drip. I don't know why I got a thing for like when villains or whatever have like fur coats or like those like feather coats
Yeah,
and like
for
stuff.
sure.
I think that's such a cool design thing, and I like Dofi for that. I got to give it to Shanks. Low key, I'm gonna put Blackbeard in there because like he's not a
That's a good one.
Ew,
so he's
bro.
not the he's not,
Ew.
he's not a
I don't know
handsome
about that one.
he's not a handsome dude. Look
Yeah.
He
he's
got
not a
no
handsome
teeth.
dude.
Like, bro.
I know, but this man is the spitting image of a pirate. This guy captures the aesthetic so well.
Yeah.
He's got he's strapped up. He got like 3 straps on his chest. He got like that's badass, bro. I don't know what
I'm
anyone.
telling you.
I don't care what anyone wants to say. The dude got 2. He got a devil fruit in each hand. How you scrapping with that, bro? Like that's hype to me. So I got to give it to him.
Wait, you said
Alright.
Whitebeard, Dofi, Blackbeard, and who else?
Whitebeard, Dofi, Blackbeard, Shanks. Who would my last one be? That's a tough one. I mean, low key, I feel like I want to give a different answer. Otherwise, we're all gonna have the same ones. I want to say Law too, but if I had to be like
Hold
a
on.
contrarian,
I might have one for you because I just thought about this person. Cat.
okay,
Curry?
yeah,
Oh my goodness,
there you go.
dude.
Bro,
There you
the
go.
fur
We gotta
scarf?
That's it.
Yo, that's
Nope.
fine. Yo, Carter Curry's my sixth man.
Hold on.
feel
Curry's
I'm
my
bad
sixth
changing,
that I
man.
I'm changing an answer. I'm changing an answer. We got Kata Curry, and then you know what? Because you guys would think my Blackbeard take is whack, I'll swap him out too. I put King. I got Cat and King right there, bro.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yo.
King,
Cat and
awesome
King.
drip, bro.
Cat and King are legends, bro. Like,
Oh,
you know.
I forgot about King, dude.
I know. I don't know how you guys didn't know.
I might have to change
Yeah,
my
I was
answers
gonna say.
Yo,
around.
facts.
He's
Facts.
literally the most beautiful dude in the show.
That's facts.
Yeah,
Um,
bro.
All right, so you said Whitebeard, Dofi, Blackbeard, King, and who
No,
else?
scratch Blackbeard. Put King on there, Cat instead, and then Shanks.
Okay.
Honorable mentions to Blackbeard. He got the pirate drip. No one's messing with that. It's all good. Like,
All right. So, Rosinante, I think it's a good one.
Oh.
That's a good pick.
All right.
I'm gonna go Shiki, bro. I feel like Shiki had mad drip and he danced in the movie the way he did on 2 swords. Nobody could do it better, bro. Nobody could do it. Yo, the hair? Golden Lion Shiki?
Yeah,
That's like one of the hardest monikers ever, bro.
facts.
King, of course. I feel like y'all really disrespected because y'all didn't pick him. But it's Roger, bro.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Roger.
Y'all talking about pirates? Bro, Roger was Captain Crunch before Captain Crunch came to be.
That's facts. That's
You know what I'm saying? He had like the
Yeah.
pink little like sash and yo, he was just going off, bro.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna be real, this is gonna sound crazy because I just cosplayed him, but yo, like Buggy, bro.
Buggy's dripped.
Hey,
Yo, Buggy
got
drippy,
mad
bro.
drip, dude.
Yo, Buggy got mad drip. And he got the long blue hair now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That's-
recently he's got the bed sheet for a suit, but you know.
Yeah.
He got the
Just-
bed sheet. I think honorable mention has to go to Croc though. I think Croc is probably
Yeah.
one of the flyest dudes
Croc
out
is
there.
dripped
100%,
out,
bro.
man.
Oh my god.
Dog,
bro.
I'll never forget. He was one of the first characters I ever saw from One Piece because Alabasta was so hot at the time, and I was just like, "Yo, why does this man like out there starting like the Rock, like just prime
Why
Rock
he's
with his
styling us
suit?
like that?
He's just he got the slick back hair. He's got the cigar. Like, yo, he just looks so fire.
Like, oh man. So yeah, I think that he's a chick or nah, bro. Like, I
Crocodile?
yeah,
Stop.
like
Croco Mom.
Croco Mom
I-
theories, yo.
listen, man,
I
I gotta ask.
I could buy into the chick thing. I just can't buy into the Croco Mom thing. That's the thing. Like, I can buy that, but it's just the Croco Mom thing. No, not possible.
Yeah,
Like,
I got you.
That's
Yeah.
impossible.
So you think he was a chick at one point though, for sure.
I think it's
No,
possible. though.
he said, "I'll take it, maybe.
I'll take it.
I'm liking it."
Like if it happened, I could understand. Like I could see it being explained in the story. But like if,
Yeah.
if it didn't happen, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not surprised that like that theory
Yeah.
didn't pan out. You know.
Yo, would y'all be upset if Sanji got turned into a woman and he was just like a woman for the rest of the series?
I'd be upset.
Yeah?
I'd be upset. Yeah. Yo,
Low key, I think.
I think his gag
think-
will be better over
I think the
guys.
time.
No, it's gonna get weird. Like it was already getting weird when he turned into Nami It's gonna
Oh
get
yeah,
real
that's
weird.
facts, dude.
That
Yeah,
is
yeah,
true.
I forgot
That
about
is
that. That's even
true.
more weird. Yeah,
Yeah, that was
that's
You guys-
weird.
You guys know about the
Like,
the
he would be
mascara?
gassed.
You guys know about the mascara theory? Like the whole thing.
No, what's that?
There's a whole theory that's been around for a while. It's floated around, but like Sanji, you know how he spent the time skip in the Kamabaka Kingdom.
Mhm.
And then after he came back, his bangs were swapped to the other side of his face. So people theorize that under the hair he has an eye with mascara on it.
No
He can do
way.
death wink. He can do death wink. That's his secret weapon, but he
If
doesn't
he
use
busts
it.
out the
He
death
doesn't
wink,
use it.
I'm not gonna lie, I'll be hype.
Yeah, if he goes like this, and Galaxy winks
That's
someone,
better than Zoro opening up his eye, bro. Like,
Yo,
And,
facts.
and here's the and
No,
here's the
no,
best
no, no,
part.
no.
Here's the best part. You know why this works? You know why this
Disrespectful.
works? This is why this works, bro. Because Sanji doesn't ever want to hit a woman, but that's his biggest weakness. When he's in a fight with a girl, he can't touch them. How does he fight them otherwise? He winks at
Galaxy
them,
wink.
Get him
bro.
with a wink.
He winks at them
Okay.
super hard.
That'd be
Smooth
good.
with it.
Tell me that's not crazy. That
Yo,
would be
bro.
That's
perfect.
wild.
Bro,
That's
this is
wild.
like 2 steps away from like catcalling, bro.
I mean, he already does it. He already winks at them already. Imagine if he could just like fire like a blast out of his eye like that. No contact, no physical contact. That's the way. That's the trick. I'm telling you.
That's hilarious, though.
That is kind of funny.
He hasn't used it up until now because he's ashamed of it. That's why he hasn't done it.
So let me ask you, Zach and Recon. Do you think that Blackbeard was going to use the meta no Mi for himself? Like he was going to take it as his third devil fruit, or was he going to give it to somebody else?
No, I think he gives it to somebody else. I think he already has his third.
Wait,
I think it was originally going to go to Burgess, just like how it was in the
Ooh.
in the Dressrosa tournament. How it looked like Burgess was going to get it anyway. So I think it was going to go to Burgess. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you mean he has a third devil fruit already? Which one?
I think he already has it in his back pocket. Like I think he's already has that zone. Like he's not looking for it anymore. Like it could be the octopus theory that's very well done by Evil.
Mhm.
But like the idea that he's already like he's planned this far out, and I think his arc is coming soon. There's no more time for him to be like trying to stick in this last fruit. I think like he's already got it. That was probably his first one, and it could be the reason why he's able to have 3 in the first place.
Okay.
I agree.
Do you think that Blackbeard has been held out too long in the series?
Not
I don't think so.
necessarily. Yeah, we start getting teases of it, you know?
Yeah,
I don't think at all. I think his journey is supposed to parallel Luffy's.
for sure.
It should be going the whole time, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and it's I think just in the same way as if we think about Akainu, right? Like whenever we actually get there, and I know we should never like base everything on when we get their backstory, it's gonna be insane. But legit for those 2 characters, when we find out the motive, like what motivates Blackbeard and Akainu, I feel like we're not gonna need all that screen time, right? Like it's when their screen time comes, it's gonna be amazing. We're gonna love it because there's such great on-screen presence.
Mhm.
But whenever we get the flashbacks, we're like, oh, okay, no, we get it. Like we got enough. They were great part-timers throughout the series, phenomenal in what they did, but their time will come. And I feel like Oda was already struggling hard enough to give characters shine up until this point, and I feel like Blackbeard has had so many iconic moments, even with the little screen time that he has, that by the time he becomes a full timer again, that's when we're gonna be like, oh, this is why he was keeping Blackbeard away for so long.
Yeah.
Especially if he really has his third fruit, that literally he couldn't show us Blackbeard because he has the third fruit already. So we gotta, we'll just find out whenever we get there.
I gotta admit, I'm not confident in the backstories anymore. Just because of
after
how
Kaido.
After Kaido.
After Kaido?
Yeah, because we went from like the Doflamingo flashback, which was easily the best one for any villain in the series. And then we went immediately to Kaido's, which was like a page and a half.
I love the Big Moms too.
I hope.
Yeah, Big Mom was great.
Yeah, Big Moms was cool. I just hope that it's not like if we get Blackbeard held out for this long or Shanks held out for this long, I want some like expansion as to why they have been so built up for so long. And I want the impact to impact me. Because when I saw Kaido, I was like, yo, Kaido has been waiting for his flashback since kind of he's been, when the second fight that they fought?
I would say
c-
even before that, like chapter 795 when he was introduced.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
it would have brought us so
Suicidal
much
right away,
closer.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like, I know it's believe in Oda, right? Believe in Oda.
Mhm.
He's Goda for a
Mhm.
reason. But
Mhm.
I don't know, man. I don't know how you guys feel. Like, do you think
No,
we're gonna have like a compressed flashback like Kaido's, or is it gonna be expounded upon?
I think for Shanks and Blackbeard specifically, he
Mhm.
has a plan. Like there's
It's been so long,
especially for
right?
Shanks, bro. Like
Yeah.
if there's
After
one
what?
character, if there's one character that I know that Oda's gonna like push him to, he's gonna make sure Shanks is the goat. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna ensure that man gets the screen time he deserves, and Blackbeard too, because Blackbeard is gonna be paralleling Luffy, and Akainu as well. I would say those three that we should have like no worries on the way they're going to be handled. The one character I'm really curious in regards to at least flashback, um, and whether we're going to get like a major flashback for, or if it's going to just tie into the present, is Dragon. In regards to like, are we going to get an extensive Dragon flashback, or is his flashback going to be the present day in regards to we're going to find out his motivations, what led to it, but it's not going to be extensive because what's actually Dragon's driving force is what's currently happening. Like I'm curious. He's the one that I'm not sure of.
Yo,
that we're gonna
Dragon
get an
gonna be
extended
another
flashback on.
buggy, bro. Watch.
No.
Dragon gonna be another buggy. He gonna be the previous buggy of the previous generation.
Nah, stop it, bro.
We're-
Stop it.
We're probably gonna get a dragon flashback at the very least that shows what's the deal with him and Luffy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
that we have to get that, but we
Yeah.
may not get like a 2-chapter flashback. And by the way, I know that we got the kind of shitty Kaido flashback in this
Mhm.
arc, but in the same arc we also got the Odin flashback, which was like arguably one
That's
of the
true.
Yeah,
best.
the
in the
best.
story.
Yeah,
So
That's
like
facts.
Oda's. I feel like Oda can make mistakes sometimes, and like
for sure.
he still has a lot of stuff in the pocket. I'm positive he has Shanks and Blackbeard at the very least. Like Recon said, he's got something planned. There's no way he
Yeah.
doesn't.
For sure.
Yeah, for me,
Especially
it
with those
goes back to the conversation we had about pacing. I think as long as Oda has everything planned out well and just structures it and paces it the right way, he has everything. Like I'm sure he had more to say about Kaido. I just think when it got to that final act, he realized like, oh, I got to speed things up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, we'll find out, man, what Dragon's about. Cause right now, Sabo got that clout, bro.
Yeah, no, Sabo's talk of the town right now, man. He's too nasty.
I am very interested. I hope with the Kuma stuff that's being brought up in the recent chapter, that we actually go back to Kamabaka Kingdom to see what Dragon and Kuma were about to like do. Like Kuma was going to show him what he saw. And I'm hoping that we don't wait too long for that, bro. Like I don't want Vegapunk's whole arc to go on and then we like have to go back to that. It was really like frustrating. Like I was like, oh man, like we get to finally find out some information about Kuma, but most likely it's gonna be told through Vegapunk, right? So I don't know. But gentlemen, it's 7:45. I know we all have to go. I just want to say thank you. A million thank yous to Zach and Recon and also you, Hidden, for just joining in as a special guest. I try to do these podcasts every week to get different creators to just like meet up and like have a podcast like form of talking instead of going like nonstop amongst each other. So before you end up going, Recon, please tell everybody where they can find you at, and also, say your final words.
Yo, so first and foremost, thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun, dude. Like it was a blast. It's always nice to be able to talk about One Piece, but especially with wonderful individuals like yourselves. It was so many ideas were brought up here that I look forward to continue to think about, because there was some crazy stuff brought up in here that I'm very much looking forward to seeing if they actually happen in Egghead Island, just to add on to the already the insanity that's happening there. But it was a very, very fun conversation. I appreciate you for having me, and nothing but love to Zach and Hidden as well. But
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you can find me over at King_Recon on YouTube. We cover the best-selling manga in history every single time the chapter drops, whether it be on Thursday or Friday, because we never know anymore, right? But
Yeah, we
but,
don't.
yeah, we never know. But it's nothing but love to the people who bring that story to us. They work so hard, both officially and unofficially. So nothing but love to TCB and Viz for what they continue to do. And I'm so excited for what's about to be happening here on Egghead. So if you want to follow the journey with me, I'm over there on King_Recon. And yeah, that's it, man. Just blessed to be able to experience the final saga weekly. You know, like this is gonna be something when we look back on this years from now. There might be some stuff in this final saga we might be telling our grandkids. Like I already know I'm gonna tell my grandkids about Gear 5. Let alone when like Luffy finds the One Piece, Luffy versus Shanks. Like, you know, it's a blessing to be a part of this, and I couldn't be more excited, man.
Yeah, Recon, you're gonna have, you know how that video you had of you being excited for an arc and then being upset at an arc? You're gonna have that over the course of like the One Piece itself, bro. I guarantee you it's gonna blow up again.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Just retweet it every new.
But thank you, Recon. I very much appreciate it, and I hope to have you back, bro.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. Zach, tell us where you can find you at, and you know, final words, man. before we end the
Yeah,
show.
as I mentioned earlier, my channel is I'm D King. If you want to catch me on Twitter, it's I'm D Zach. But yeah, super fun time, man. Like I love hanging out with you guys and meeting you guys in New York City. So like chopping it up here just feels like the same exact immaculate vibes we had. So
does.
hey, I'm down to come back
Hell yeah.
anytime. Hit me up, man.
Yeah, it was like in the movie theaters when we were just going crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, Recon, you should have saw it. We were arguing back and forth so loudly. And I
In the
think
theater?
yeah, we were way too loud, bro. And then
Oh,
Zach
okay.
is just sitting there between us, like, because we were going like first take, like Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith.
Oh
Just
man.
standing up in the middle of the theater.
Yeah, the guy in the back of us was just going. He was just laughing.
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah,
honest,
bro.
was cracking up, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
everybody
that
was
is
staring.
hilarious.
Yeah.
The moment I challenged you in Gears of War, that's when it went down.
But you know, Zach, been a fan for you a long time as well, man. So I just want to say
Appreciate
thank
it,
you.
man.
It was wonderful meeting you at Comic-Con. I'm sure Sebastian feels the same. And like, I think when we talked about it too, we talked like who is like the most comfortable to be around, like content creators wise, and like you were up there between the ones that we said.
Appreciate
So
that, man. Appreciate
thank
that.
you so much, man. And then Hidden, we collab so much. We're friends in real life. So, tell the people where they can find you and
Yeah.
final words.
Well, first off, Larry, thank you. Thank you for having me today. I mean, we spoke yesterday. You already know how much love I got for your channel.
Thank you.
And yeah, everyone out there, like it's always a pleasure hanging out with Larry and Seb. And honestly, today was a pleasure. I was only here for a short time, but I'm very happy I could talk to you, Zach and Recon. You guys are great too. Zach, I was just singing your praises yesterday about Comic-Con. I was telling them, I was like, yo, Zach was
Bro,
so
like,
chill,
it was so cool meeting you guys. Like we had never spoken before, and then we practically spent the entire day together. And
Yeah.
it
The
was just,
entire
like, we
day.
just clicked right away. And it was just so cool, man.
Yo, Recon,
that-
you got to join up with us next time.
For sure, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, I was
Bro.
gonna go up there, but I'm currently dealing with my peg leg situation. So
Damn.
I was trust me, I was talking
Yeah.
to Par. I was like, bro, I want to go up there so bad, but I just wasn't able to physically.
Hey man, there's gonna be so many opportunities. A lot of this stuff happens in New York, and I'm a New York native, so like you
Mhm.
catch me at those things, like for sure. I'm sure that Larry and them will be pulling up, Par will be pulling up, so it's always a great
Mhm.
time. And I just want to say, for you guys out there that want to find me, my channel is The Hidden Island. So if you look it up on YouTube, it'll be the first thing that comes up. You just type in The Hidden Island. On Twitter, you can find me at The Hidden Island, except the I is spelt with an L because someone else took my at already. So you guys can find me there. The link's in the description, so you don't need to worry about all that. But check me out on there. I got cool stuff on the way. So
Yo,
thank you for having me.
Recon, if I get
Yeah.
a kangaroo pouch, and your leg is still messed up, I'm gonna put you in there, bro, and I'll just carry
Oh,
you.
yo,
the
that
whole
sounds
time.
good, Larry.
Carry the whole time, bro. I'll put you on my back, whatever.
Yes,
But
sir.
thank
The
you so
body
much.
cast, like Sanji carrying him over the shoulder. Like,
That'll be the cosplay.
Oh, that'd be so good. I'm wrapping the
That'd be
bandages.
Yeah.
But listen, guys,
Oh, man.
thank you again for joining me, and it was a blast. I hope we could get together very, very soon.
for sure, brother.
All right.
Great to come back.
Enjoy
All
the
right,
rest of
guys.
your day, guys. See you later.
Yep.
You too,
Enjoy.
brother. Peace out, everyone.
Jana.
Have a good
Jana.
one. Take care.
Oh man. So everybody, thank you for joining us today. It was my great honor to like just host this type of event. Wait, my camera's not working? Oh, it's not working because I'm in Discord. All right, my bad. So you can't see me right now, but hold on. You can't see me right now, but I just want to say thank you to everybody that came through. Very much appreciated. Let me just throw myself into Discord, that way like you guys can see me. Hold on. That way I don't look like a jerk. All right. Can you guys see me? Yeah. All right. So I just want to say thank you so much, guys, for joining us on this great episode of the One Piece Talk, the secret voice century episodes. Great people to talk to, you know, MD King, aka Zach, the Hidden Island, his name is Zach, and then King Recon, who basically I just met today. Like, I can't even tell you how much it meant to me, but also to the overall people that are going to be listening on Spotify and stuff such like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put timestamps on this video later, and then I'm going to place all their links in the description of the video below so you guys can have it. But other than that, thank you so much for you. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm probably going to go on Twitch later and play some Apex. So enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your night.